there, welcome and welcome back to the whole bucket and to some watercolor painting adventures. I am trying to learn some stuff about watercolor painting, and even though tonight is supposed to be Let's Make Journals, there are some pieces I need for upcoming journal work I'm going to be doing, and I am going to take this night because it is the last Monday of October. Yeah, and the new stuff will be starting on the first Monday of November. So I have this blank space, and in this blank space I'm going to try to prep some stuff for November. I used to have another cup in here, so I've been practicing for a bit, and all of my water is dirty. So I probably should go get new water, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pour some water on this page and saturate this whole page, because I'm just going to try to get some blob action going on in some blues and some greens and some blue greens. And I'm going to try some, wet on wet painting stuff. And the first thing I want to do is saturate this entire piece of paper. One of the mistakes I made earlier was that, excuse me, lady, do not throw my paper. Jeez Louise. One of the mistakes I made earlier is that I thought I had wet the paper properly all the way across it and top to bottom, and I did not. And then my colors and blotches and stuff did not flow properly. So I'm going to start with this, and I am going to dip this big fat brush into green. Ooh. And I'm going to do that. This is Phthalo green I'm using. Oh my gosh, I just love this. This is what I wanted to see happening. I want to see some stuff spread out like so, and like so, and like so. This one turned out really cool just all by itself. I don't know. And this is a whole different thing over here. So I do want my blues and greens to run together, but I want my blues to be a different shape puddle. So I'm going to pull out a Chinese calligraphy brush and see if I can. I mean, I know that wet on wet is kind of okay, well, anyway, I know wet on wet is, softer forms and that sort of thing. And I'm okay with that. I get that part. But I was hoping I could do a blotch and then a the answer is no. I'm not using words very well, but it doesn't matter what words I use. The answer to my question is no, you cannot do that. So I'm just going to put some dots. As you can see, I'm trying to vaguely create plants. Well, I mean, I think you can see that. It's not a big secret. And one thing I really should have with me is a spray bottle of water, because this is already starting to dry up, which is just flipping ridiculous. But that's Minnesota weather for you. Crazy humid in the summer and crazy dry in the autumn and winter. I don't know what in the world this is going to be, because it's going all wonky, but I'm sure it'll turn into something exciting at some point. Like, how did I miss that big section of getting the page wet? Look at what a completely straight line it switches from wet to dry. That's... I'll copy it. Well, hello, Sudie. Do you want to go outside? I'm going to go let my cat out. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I got called away for a sec there. So, I have lost my way, and I don't know what I'm doing, except that I am pulling out a color of paint called Rose, and I re-wet the paper, and we're going to try some rose bits in here. It had almost completely dried, except over here where there's a puddle of water on my desk. So I was able to put another layer of water on without messing stuff up too much. You can see the big brush strokes across here, but that part was still a little wet, and that's where I like followed that hard line anyway. And my brush still had paint in it, so a lot of things happened right there. But let's add a warm color, because it shouldn't turn too muddy because of how dry it was. It shouldn't turn too muddy. I don't know what this is actually going to end up being. I think I said that already, but the same is true now that I'm back from what I went to take care of. Alright, so I think it is perfectly clear. I don't have a clue what I'm doing with watercolor painting. Part of the problem I have with watercolor painting, besides the fact that I don't really know how, is that I don't really know what I'm trying to accomplish. And you know what? If you don't know what you're going for, how do you know if you got there, right? So, you saw me throw a little bit of water on. And now I'm going to do some picking some water back up, or some color back up, just to create, you know, more dimension in this thing. Here, this will do better. Let's just use this. Let's just use this. Oh my, how did, okay. I didn't know there was still sienna in there. But there's creating some, you know, variance if we pull that up. Now how did that happen? Look at that completely squared off section right there. Not even sure how I accomplished that. I kind of like what that's doing. It is getting kind of a little muddy, but in a very purple way. So that's all right. Let's try to do the same over here. All right, now last thing I want to do on this one is the salt thingy. So from what I understand, you don't want it too wet, and it shouldn't be too wet because, oh yeah, it's way too wet. Oh, good grief. Whatever. Let's just pull over another board and see what happens. In fact, I'm going to pause again and go get clean water so we can try to do this properly. Right back. All right. I am going to soak this one on both sides to see if that does work to get it to lay down properly. And this time I'm going to try to angle this thing so I can see where I'm hitting and where I'm missing, because every time I miss big sections. I'm not even sure how that happens. Definitely need a fatter brush for this. For sure. If I'm gonna do that, we're gonna need a bigger brush. Oh, goodness sakes, I am so tired. I am so tired. All right. Oh, some big chunks missing again. There we go. And the last bit. Okay, so yawning is supposedly contagious, so I apologize to anybody watching this because now everybody's exhausted. I think we should all just go take a nap. Alright, so this time I'm going to start with blue and go like this. Okay, then I will change colors and go to green, because that's what I do, blue and green. And I'll go like that, right there. Okay, then I will change paintbrushes again. Wait, I ran out of color though. I need, you know what I need? I need vermilion. That's what I need. Oh my. So, I do not want things to get too terribly muddy. So I'm going to add the vermilion a little carefully, I think. In fact, I think I'm going to splatter it and see what that does. Well, it certainly creates some cool things. Although I wish there was more green in there now. Okay, let's take a little more of the green up as well. And then I think I'm going to do some splattering, but with some clean water. Just to get stuff moving even more, right? Since I don't have a spray bottle proper, or since I don't have a proper spray bottle. I can say my sentences backwards, it's fine. Okay. Now, the very latest person I was watching about learning watercolor said the same thing I always say. He said the same thing I always do. I mean, lift the paper to get your watercolors moving if you want to. Well, I always want to, because it's fun and cool. I don't really have enough water on here though. All right, let's see how that works. Okay, don't want to make mud, so I'm not going to run it any more than that. But what I can do now is start pulling up water just like I did in the other one, in some places, right? To create a further texture thingy. I don't really have any puddles though, do I? There's a spot where I can pull some up. There's a spot where I can pull some up. It sure does create more texture too. Gosh, I like that. That's cool. Okay. All right, I got enough texture in there, I think. I'm not going to put salt on this one because I want things to be different, but now there's another background piece. And I think that's looking pretty spiffy, really. I'm going to wait for this one to dry a little bit. And I'm going to pull out another piece of paper. And we're going to try. Actually, you know what? We're going to try 2 more. So I'll pull out 2 pieces. I like the wet on wet stuff, but I really want some more stronger colors. So I think I'm going to try wet on dry. And I don't have a clue what I'm doing here. So I guess I'll start with the blue again because that's what's on my big brush right now. But I kind of just want to get, oh, and I need it to be this way. I kind of just want to get clouds of colors, and then I want to make it run. So if I want a cloud of color, I can just go like that, right? To start. And then another color I need to be on there that I haven't really done anything with this evening is Payne's Gray. So I think I'm going to go and put this on the undersides of everything blue. Now I don't know why I'm doing the undersides, because like I said, I want to make it run. So I'm going to be adding water and making the edges all soft again. But it's just a starting point. It's just something that makes sense to me, I guess. Okay, and then I'm going to do the green. I'm going to keep a little of the Payne's Gray in the brush, just to change the green a little bit. Whoops, what the heck? How did that get in there? Okay, that's okay. I mean, I don't mind it really. I sure didn't intend that though. Alright, well, there you go. Alright, so now I think I'll take the water and start splattering. And I'm gonna need more green. Because I've used it all and I really want the green to blend with the blue. And there's not enough of it to blend. So let's do that some more. Okay, now here's what I don't know how to do. I really need a spray bottle for what I want to do. I don't have one with me, so I need to do this however I can. But what I need to do is get water on here and have it start looking like wet on wet, but not enough to actually be wet on wet. At least that's what the fancy watercolor guy said. I think he's speaking Chinese, to be honest. And I do not speak any Chinese. Not one word. So mine's not looking like anything that he did. I obviously do not get this technique at all. Even worse than I don't get the wet on wet. At least the wet on wet is fun. You know, you put the water on and then you dop the paint on and then it does cool stuff. I mean, I got some good blobs here though. That is what I wanted. But here's what I want to do next. And this is not what the guy did. So this could be a complete disaster. But I'm going to take a dark stripe of all the warm colors right across the top and then run it down the whole thing. So how much mud can I get is the question. Probably a lot. Probably a lot. All right, let's put some right there. Make that go. Go. Run. Run. This is my favorite part. This is where I don't actually care if I am doing watercolor painting the way you're supposed to, because this is what I think is fun. Just watching it and see what happens. I think this will be fascinating when it dries. Now I grabbed green. Okay, whatever. I apparently don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I think this is what I want. I'm just going to fill this whole bottom in with this brown now and let it run the other way. Let's run some brown the other way, folks. In fact, I'll pick up the brown and the Payne's Gray to make it even darker. And we'll run this the other direction. Oh, my poor desk. That's all right. I have a new work mat. Thank goodness I haven't put it here yet, because this is a freaking mess. I suppose it's only watercolor though, huh? It's not going to hurt anything. It's only watercolor. Alright. In just a second I will put this down and show you what we ended up with. Just trying to get all of the rest out of the tray. Because why not? Because just fill it up with paint. Alright, there's what we got. A ginormous mess. Believe it or not, I think this is what I want. Now, honestly, I said I think, and I mean that, because you really don't know what you're going to get till it's dry, you know. I kind of like what that's doing. Modeling it even more. And let's try some salt on this one. I honestly don't know the science behind what the salt is doing. I'll have to look it up because I don't know. Like, I heard one lady say you want it to be almost dry before you put the salt on. I don't know what it does if it's too wet then, because I don't know the science behind the designs it makes. So I don't know what's going to happen when I have too much water on my paper for the salt. Does that mean it'll just dissolve and not do its cool stuff? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, here's one piece that I wanted to do, and we're going to do it again. But you know what? I used all the paint. So, again, we're going to go with a Verbidien. Oh, I know what color I used. Okay, this time we're going to go with Verbidien. And Phthalo Blue again. Because, you know why? Because it's my favorite blue. And we're going to do Burnt Umber. Burnt Umber. And I think Vermilion. Yeah, I think we should do Vermilion again. Actually, let's tone it down a little bit too. So I'll use Vermilion again. But I'll also use the light coral again. So it will at least put something light and bright in this one. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. I think we'll also put in this yellow, whatever this is. What is this one? Is this yellow ochre? It is yellow ochre. Okay, that's what we used before, isn't it? Okay. So, I have some little dabs in the palette. And I'm going to do dry on wet again, although it ends up getting awfully wet in the end if you paint my way. Oh, good grief. This time, let's start with the lightest color first, because that's really what you should be doing anyway. So I will use, oh, and I did the wrong one. Okay, I'm just going to go in there and get it then. And the paint and the brush was dirty. So I'm not going to get much of it anyway. Let's get all this out of the brush. So this was supposed to be just the light coral, and I didn't clean the brush enough, and I picked up the yellow ochre, and I picked up some of the green in the tray. So there's the yellow ochre by itself. And then the next color up will be the Viridian. I think I'm going to stick with the giant brush. Just try to do a better job cleaning it. If I have to, I'll put in a bunch of the light coral in splatters at the end. to get some of that light coral back. So I'm not totally stressed about not getting it right. You know what? I should turn the paper. First of all, I wanted this orientation anyway, but I'm seeing that my brush strokes stay the same too much. So let's turn the paper. To randomize a little better. Okay. Next color will be, I do believe, Phthalo Blue. I do believe Phthalo Blue is next. Yeah, wait, one more that way, and then I should be turning this. I can't change my dominant hand, and I can't change my natural direction, but I can change the position of the paper. I mean, I can't comfortably change my natural direction. You should always keep your drawing and or painting comfortable as you can. Turn the paper rather than try to, you know, twist your arm off a funny direction. All right, there we go. Next, turn it back this way again, and we're gonna put on the Viridian. I'm gonna go ahead and use a smaller brush for that. I'm going to put that over here. That's just silly. Okay. Now, if I can get all of these colors on here and then get water on here in some way, somehow, and then make this a little bit foggy all over the place without getting too muddy, I will be shocked and amazed and thrilled to pieces. I don't really see this happening. I don't see it. Okay, I'm going to get a whole new brush altogether because I'm going to go to the darkest color now, the burnt umber, right? And we need that amount to be even smaller, or it will just take over everything. Actually, let's turn this again. I don't know why I'm doing X's. There's really no reason other than I'm just getting color in a space, you know? Nobody told me, oh, do it with X's. And I will say it again, I have no clue what I'm doing. So don't think this has any kind of meaning to it. Whatever you do, don't think you're going to learn anything here. Not going to happen. There are some things I can teach about. Watercolor painting is not one of them. I'm pretty good at 3rd grade math. science, 3rd grade, 2nd grade. You know what? Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough. All right, so now the question is, how am I going to do this? All right, I'm going to try to get this spray bottle working. Although even if it does, it's going to be a weird color. Strangely enough, if it works, this color is right for this project. So, you know, there's that. Ooh, look at that. Ready? Oh, this is way too misty of a bottle. Yeah, I need, here, let's do a dropper bit. Well, that's kind of fun. Look at that moving. Oh, wait. Did you see that? It squirted. Let me see if there's a place there. Oh, too much. Oh, look at the mud. And it didn't go where I wanted it to, but still. It's going. It's doing some stuff. We need some over there. Okay, that's kind of fun. So let's move over there and on the edges. Blech. Whoops. Over here on the edges. Get some aggression in this. Aggressive watercolor. Okay, maybe we'll just try gentle right there. Gentle right there. Okay, I'll try picking up some water now. Definitely right there. Definitely right there. Oh, and I stuck my brush in the water. Goofball. How about right here at the bottom of this waterfall? We can pick a little up right here. Pick that up. Pick that up. What do you think? This is kind of wild, isn't it? I kind of like this one. I do need it to go all the way to the edges, though. Did it on the other one? Yeah, it pretty much did. So I'm going to do some finagling this color. To the edges. Okay, let's tip it back this way. Finagle it to the edges. Finagle it to the bottom, or the side, actually. All right. Now, one round of water all the way across the top. going down because I forgot what direction I need this to go, and I had too much of it going side to side, and I needed to go top to bottom. There's a reason behind some of this misbehavior. There is some semblance of reasoning in this mess. All right, let's see what we got. Oh gosh, that's cool. What do you think, peeps? What do you think? It's hard to see, isn't it? There we go. Look at that. Gosh, I hope that's even half as cool when it dries. It'll dry much lighter than it looks now, but and it needs to be. Some of this is too bright for the project it's intended for. So, I mean, with that in mind, I really should water some of this down, but I don't. All right, well, here I go, watering some of these bright orange spaces down. Even though I know they will likely tone down anyway, but it worries me a speck. Okay. All right. There we go. All right, now let's pull back. This one needs to dry a speck. I'm going to throw Suni's bed over in the corner. Oh, poor Suni. She's outside. She won't even know. She won't even know what happened. All right. Let's pull back one. Let's see how they're all doing, actually, because I don't know what's dry and what isn't. This one certainly isn't because it's drenched. This one isn't because you can see puddles on it still. This one isn't, and it goes this way anyway. This one will have to be for a different project, and actually I know what project this one will be for. This one could be for the current project, or the surprise project I'm making this stuff for. This one could go. This one could go. Although this one's turning out to be a much bigger mess than I thought. But I do have an idea to fix it. So that one's fun and could work. This one we just got done could totally work. This mud puddle right here could work. What else have we got? We have this one. That one turned out way paler than it was. And I kind of like it. What's over here? So my very first attempt at watercoloring didn't turn out. It was on last Wednesday's Wine With Me Wednesday. I'll show you what happened. No, I'll tell you what happened. I'll show you what I did to kind of repair it. And then we'll let these, doing that, we'll let these dry a few more minutes before I show you how we're going to finish those background pieces up. So this is one of the ones that I did. And what went wrong is I thought I had watercolor paper, and I don't really know how to tell the difference without anything being packaged or labeled. And I had thrown away all the packages and labels, and I didn't have my shelves labeled. So what I thought was watercolor paper was definitely not. And it soaked up all the color and all the water and just got saturated, and the paint didn't move at all, as you can see. And I ended up with the weird things with like no, I didn't end up getting any good watercolor practice, although I did learn some stuff. Anyway, today, earlier, I took stencils and did reverse watercolor. So I put my stencils down and used wipes to pull up some of the color to get some patterns in there. This is starting to be something I kind of like. I like this one no matter what. And I can't tell if I did anything on this one. Did I do anything at all? Maybe I didn't, because I actually really like that one. You can see I did on here. I used Darcy's, one of her forest stencils that I can never remember the name of, even though it's my favorite stencil. It's Forest Floor or Forest Foliage. I'm not sure which. And I used that under there. I should take it again and do it along the sides. I just plopped it in the middle to see if it would even work, and it totally did. So I'm probably going to go put more lines in around the edges. What in the world did I do here? Oh, okay. So this one actually didn't work. Here, it goes this way. I can kind of tell what's going on. Can you? Let me look in my monitor. Nope, not one bit. So when I first did it, you could see it much better, but this says Alchemy across the top, and then there's a scroll design on each side of it, and there's some fake scripty stuff going on. You can kind of see it right there. You can kind of see it right here. Across this little white line here and here, those are the fake scripty stuff. It did not show up. I kind of knew it wouldn't because the stencils I took were way too fine at the details. I need to pick something more open. This one has a big mandala thing on it, and a small little thing, and a small mandala, but they didn't show up so great either. Part of the problem was that these have been dry for days. Part of the problem is the stencils I chose. Part of the problem was that the wipes I was using were at first too soggy and just making puddles, and then too dry. Because I wring them out and then they didn't work. So I'm learning all kinds of stuff. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm learning. I'm learning. Oh, good grief. All of those are perfectly fine for card backgrounds and such. So none of this learning will be wasted. They are definitely not what I intended to get in the first place, though. So with that said, more things will have to happen with those pages. So now I'm going to take my fan brush, get it a little wet, and get some green. There's hardly any paint in this tray at all anymore. I used almost all of it. But what I want to do is just start at the bottom and go like so. I'm just creating a different texture. That's all. That's all. Just creating a texture as if this were a forest scene or a, I don't know. I mean, these are clearly plants in the front, and that's clearly the sky. But I'm not sure what all these red things in the sky are. Maybe there were fireworks that day. Maybe they're a special kind of firefly. I don't know. And then let's take, if I can, I don't even know if this will work, but I'm going to try to take what's left of this vermilion and get a couple more splatters in there. See if we can get darker ones, and it looks like we can. Maybe just like that. Okay, I need a bigger blob. Well, that's not a bigger blob, but okay, so I got some darker splatters on this one. That's just to create another kind of bit of dimension, right? Let's let that one dry again. You go over that spot, and then there's the, okay, this one. The Super Sog. So the first thing I'm going to do with this one is open up a napkin. Wow, this napkin might be cool now too. Nope, it needs more. I'll have to use it a few more times. Then it'll be cool. I think I intended this to go this direction, but I really feel like it goes this way. Okay. I want to get something really bright. So I think I'm going to go, oh my gosh, this is risky. I am scared. I'm a little frightened at this one. I'm going to try lemon yellow. I don't do bright. And now I'm going to try lemon yellow, and I'm going to try it right here on my mat. And I'm just going to put a tiny spot of paint. I could have put even tinier, but I have no finesse. But let's see if we can get some. All right, so I have a vision for this page. So I want yellow here. And here. That's not going to stay showing up though, is it? What if I added white to it so it had more? Oh, you know what I could do? This is fine for a first layer of dots, but I will pull out some acrylics. And I will do some acrylic spots at some point. Tiny bit of water. How much? What did I just say a little while ago? Move the paper. Don't twist your arm off. Okay, that's what I want. Just like that. It's a big fat mess still, isn't it? I swear, it'll end up being a thing. I swear it will. I'm pretty sure anyway. Now, this one. I kind of don't want to do anything to this one because I kind of like it the way it is. But there's something kind of missing from it that I need. So I'm going to try to mix a brighter tealish thing. And I can actually do that right on my table too, right on the yellow. Let's put a little bit. Oh my gosh, that's way too much. First it was way too little, and then it was like, oh my goodness, what are you thinking? Okay, so I'm going to try to get a different kind of cyan. I sure like that, but it's very gray. So I will just try to be a little more finessed and put in this tiny bit of light, bright green. Let's see if that'll work. Will that work? It should. Oh, of course it's too much. Of course that was too much. What did you expect from me? No, we're going to put more cobalt in there. Actually, there was just too much yellow on the table, I think. It just, because it's the contrasting color, it just dulled it down too much. Too much. I needed it a little bit, but not that much. All right, let's try this. I like that. Okay. Okay, this looks like what I'm looking for. Put a little water in it. And then, how do I add this without wrecking what this already is? I think what I do is I add some spots and let them run over the top of everything else. Maybe that's not the answer because it's not going the way I think it should. There we go. Kind of a wash. There we go. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, I put a line way up there at the top of the paper, and I'm going to let that run down too. And let it run down right into the other one, hopefully. There we go. That might be really good. Again, putting it pretty dark across the tippy top. All right, I'm going to let that run for a second, and then I'll lay it down. We'll see what we have. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or not, but I'm just taking all the paint up with the brush and then scraping it off of the brush onto the top of the paper and on the sides a little bit. In fact, I need to spray where my hand was because I didn't get that spot. Here, let me move this over and you can see better. So I'm taking that paint and just literally just scraping it right off the brush to let it run down in the water. Okay, let's see what we got. Anything good? Quite a few things good. We got quite a few things good, I think. More down this side because that's got a lot of blank stuff going on. There we go. I want to soften that line right there in the middle. there. There we go. There we go. Let's see what happens if I try to pull all this up. Here, I'll try to pull all this up too. Okay. All right, I'm gonna let that one dry. Let's pull out the other one. Let's clean this spot first. Pull up this one. This is our last one. And I don't know what this one needs. It's fairly dry. Let's try just some white splatters on this one. Or we could try some white runny bits. I've never tried that. Oh my. Okay, so on that one I did it with the dark teal. On this one I think I'm going to do the same thing, only with the white and a little bit different. Because I think I'm going to start with the scraping it across the top right off the bat. And then I will spray it and add another line if it needs it. Okay, now we need a little on the edges. And let's soften it. Okay. I want more white, and I want to do that again because I might like this. I'm not sure. Maybe. Let's try it some more. Same thing though. I'm gonna do it across the top and the sides. Actually, here I'll do the corners a lot on this one. So I'll do that corner, and then I'll come to this corner and I'll spray those. We'll see if we like doing corners. It helps if you actually spray in the direction of the paper, and it helps if your spray bottle doesn't break. Crud muffins! I'm trying to do something! Okay. Well, that's lovely. Okay, let's see if this has any water in it. I just spotted my mini mister. I forgot I even own this thing. There we go. Kind of a little power brat, isn't it? All right. It also runs out of water in a second flat. Whoopsies. Whoopsies. No one, I tell you, can make a mess quite as skillfully as I can. A #1 supreme mess maker. I could be part of the Olympic team of mess making. Who out there wants to join my team? Okay, I am over my hour by quite a bit, and I think that's hilarious because I didn't even know if I was going to get a show for today because I recorded it a couple of different times and it didn't work. Troubles, troubles, troubles. But it finally worked, and I got some really good pieces. Now, you're going to have to stay tuned to find out what in the world I'm going to make out of these bizarre thingies. But let's see if I can show them without the glare because they're still quite soggy. But there is #1. Okay, and here is #2. I think I should spray this some more. Okay, so there is #2. Let's pick up some of that white. Why not? Okay. And option #3, I'm going to use option #3 to clean up everything else on this table because it needs the most help, and the white that is on here can't really hurt. So let's move all this stuff out of the way. This one needs a little something right there on that. Oh, right there too. Right there on the bottoms. And I'll set that aside to dry. And then this monster is option #3. I need 2 of these 3 to work out for the secret project that you'll be learning about soon. Which one's going to work out is a mystery. We won't know until we get there. But you'll have to stay tuned to see what we do with these. And the other ones that I made are going to end up being a thing too, but they're for a different project. But, oh, shoot. I made a mess. Imagine that. This one will also end up being a project, along with this one, along with this one, and I think, oh, not lastly, but this one for sure, and then this one for sure. Those will all end up being in a different project, but together. I don't know what's going to happen to this one. This one ended up being a big fat mess, and I liked it for a while there. Who knows? Maybe when it dries, it's going to be my favorite. You never can tell, really. Till they're done, you don't know. You got to trust the process. Something's going to work out. It always does. There's a home for everything. And everyone, really, right? There's a place for everyone. Except for bad people. Don't be mean. Be nice. And then there's space for you. Am I right? Everybody just be nice. Just be nice. Alright. There we go. Mostly mess cleaned up. Except, you know, me. And a few promising pieces. a few promising pieces for the secret project. These two for sure are looking good for the secret project. And this is the dark horse for the secret project. And I think it goes the opposite way I thought it did. Alright. That's all I know, guys. That's all I know. See you next time. Watch for a bunch of stuff to happen on Friday. This Friday. Yep. Oh. If you're watching this some other date, this Friday means November 1st, 2024. Okay. Bye.